In the pantheon of television spin-offs of blockbuster films, The Penguin is an extraordinary achievement. The eponymous villain may be no Batman, but as played so deliciously by Colin Farrell and amplified by some truly remarkable prosthetics, few watching the show have time to think about the cinematic universe from which he came, much less miss it. Even so, showrunner Lauren LeFranc concludes the season with a shot of the bat signal looming over the Gotham skyline, after Oswald Cobb vanquishes his mob family competitors and installs himself as an ally of city legislators. It serves as an ominous reminder that moving up the city's criminal food chain only places him more directly in the Caped Crusaders' crosshairs. "We were searching for an elegant way to hand off our show to the Batman," LeFranc tells Variety. "It felt correct to have the bat signal to undercut him and say, 'You have not made it to the top yet. You are living in this fantasy, but there's a real larger world out there.'" That final shot was just one of many subjects discussed with LeFranc, Farrell's co-stars Kristen Milioti and Deirdre O'Connell and executive producers Matt Reeves and Dylan Clark about the 8th and final episode of The Penguin. The HBO spin-off from 2022's The Batman, which Reeves co-wrote and directed, and stars Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, sets Oswald on a path to success and legitimacy, but at the cost of several people closest to him. Among the victims of his social climbing aspirations are mob matriarch Sophia Gigante, Milioti, whom he gets arrested, Oswald's mother Frances Cobb, O'Connell, who suffers a debilitating stroke, and his young protege, Victor Aguilar, Renzi Feliz, whom he kills after receiving Vic's help in overturning the city's balance of criminal power. In addition to talking about the show's twists and turns, and the losses and gains the characters experience in the finale, here, the five of them delve into the foundational ideas that set the show up for its considerable success, the character and story dynamics that made it such compelling viewing throughout the season, and the places that Reeves and Clark empowered LeFranc to go forward, not just to set up Reeves' theatrical sequel to The Batman, which is going into production early next year, but to create a world equal to the franchise's rich, gritty reality. In expanding Batman's hometown to fit this expanding ensemble, LeFranc wanted to imagine a more granular portrait of Gotham in order to create a strong juxtaposition between the events of The Batman and The Penguin. "We got to spend 8 hours in Gotham City, compared to Matt's film, which is around 3, she says. We got to see specific neighborhoods like Victor's, we saw where the Falcons live. We really got to tell a class disparity story." Speaking about that feels very relevant to who Batman is as a character, knowing Bruce Wayne's history. But also knowing where we ended Batman in the first film. Reeves reveals that he originally intended to chronicle Oswald's ascent in the follow-up film, but quickly realized that a show gave them the chance to tell his story in more detail without sacrificing its intended focus on, Batman. This is the first leg in getting him toward that dark aspirational goal of his becoming the Kingpin, so we need him to have achieved a certain level of status, Reeves says. "We need there to be a gang war, an unexpected gang war, that puts him in a position of power." Consequently, Reeves and his producing partner Clark offered loose boundaries for LeFranc to meet. "We were kind of like, this is the beginning, and then this is broadly the end, with none of that being an obstacle to what the larger goal in illuminating who this and these other characters that Lauren wanted to focus on, are," he adds. "And then when you're going into the movie, it's not meant to be like, here's a tease. We held this back. Now it's more like he's now achieved this level, so the next time Batman sees him, he's going to be in this new place, and that's going to mean he's going to be more formidable in these ways." Clark says that The Penguin is meant to expand the landscape of stories told within Batman's mythology, while also enriching those told about Batman himself. "HBO gives us an opportunity to build up the characters in our canon, the marquee characters like the Penguin," he says. "In the movies, because the point of view is on the Batman, here we're trying to build him up in ways that we just didn't have the opportunity. And once we go through that experience in the series, we bring him back into the movie, where he's more formed in a known way. The key is to never make any of it feel like it's hyper-dependent upon watching them all," adds Reeves. "It won't be the kind of thing where we're teasing you because we want you to go to the movie. That feels like you're flicking the audience. We talked about the idea of somebody WH.